Am I audible to you? Okay. So today we are going to start a new subject known as MEFA in short form, which is the full form of Managerial Economics and Financial Accounting. Basically, this subject is not particular to the IT or CS department, but because the RT University feels that the engineering students have very less knowledge in terms of management, so they started this subject for all the branches as the uh, you can say the additional subject for taking some management knowledge. So this is the syllabus of the subject. First, I am give you the brief introduction of the subject. This subject is being divided in 5 units. Um, Let us discuss each unit in brief one by one. Now, for the first unit is basic economic concepts. In this unit, we are going to study the meaning uh, of economics, the managerial economics. It's two popular forms like microeconomics and macroeconomics, the scope and nature of the economics, then the economic problems like scarcity and choice, and lastly the national income concepts and how they are measured. So this is the basic concepts related to the economics. The first unit deals with basic concepts of economics. Now in the second unit, the second unit is divided into two parts. First is demand analysis and the second is supply analysis. So in the demand analysis, we will going to study the types of demand, the determinants of demand, demand function, and the elasticity of demand. So the demand is divided in these measures. In the same way, the supply analysis is also divided into determinants of supply, supply function, and the elasticity of supply. So after the first unit, we will going to start the second unit, which is divided into demand analysis and supply analysis. The the third unit is divided into two parts. First is production analysis and the other is cost analysis. Now in the production analysis, we are going to study the production function, law of variable proportions, law of return to scale, production optimization. And in the case of cost analysis, we are going to study various types of cost, uh, like explicit and implicit cost, fixed and variable cost, opportunity cost, sunk cost, the cost function, cost estimation, etc. Then in the fourth unit, we are going to study the market structure and pricing theory. In this unit, there are four. You can see there are four topics, but each topic is basically a unit in itself. Now, in this unit, we are going to study the perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So each topic is a unit in itself. Um, and the last is financial statement analysis. So basically, the subject managerial economics and financial accounting. In it, out of 5 units, there are 4 units are of managerial economics, and only the fifth unit is consist of financial accounting. So in the last unit, we will going to study the balance sheet, and its related concept, how profit and loss statements can be done, and its related concept, the how the cash flow analysis will be taken, and the fund flow analysis and their comparative state financial statements. So so basically the managerial economics plays a key role in your syllabus because it consists of 4 units and only one unit is consist of financial financial accounting. All of you are getting it now. Proceeding further, now proceeding further now, first, the introduction of economics. The first we will see the word economics comes from two Greek. The word economics comes from two Greek two Greek words, eco meaning home and nomos meaning accounts. So which would mean managing an household using the limited funds available in the most satisfactory level possible. You know the word economic. Basically, economic means to manage the things in a in your satisfactory level or or in the limited funds available. So, defining economics. Basically, economics is the study of how people allocate the scarce resources for production, distribution, and consumption, both individually and collectively. So, this is the main definition how people allocate scarce resources for production, distribution, and consumption, both individually and collectively. Some other definition of economics are economic is about the study of scarcity and choice. Economic find ways of reconciling unlimited wants with limited resources. Economic explains the problem of living in communities in terms of the underlying resource cost and consumer benefits. Economic is about the coordination of activities which results from specialization. So these are all some short definitions of economics. Now proceeding further, these are the main definitions of economics which are given by some economic experts. So once you are writing the answer of right definition of economics, you need to quote the expert name also. Like in the first definition is given by J.M. Keynes. So, according to him, economic studies how the level of income and employment in a community are determined. In the same way, the Keynes terms, economic is defined as the study of administration of scarce resources and of the determinants of income and employment. Now, this definition is also given by the Benham's. In Benham's word, economic is the study of factors affecting the factors affecting the size, distribution, and stability of a country's national income. So once you are writing the definition of economics, you must quote the name of the expert also, because in a particular expert term the definition is different according to him. All of you are getting it right? Yes or no in the chat box. So what is the problem with Avinash Darura? What you have not understand? Avinash Darura. Okay, stars resource means limited resources. Like if you have, you are getting a pocket money every month, so you have limited resource or limited pocket money, but your desires are more, which are much more than you get every month in your pocket money. Like suppose you are getting 500 rupees in your pocket money every month, and you want I think 5,000 rupees every month for your desire. So you can limit yourself to your budget. So your desire will be limited with the stars resource of. So you can take the items which are under 500. So this is the stars resource basically. So basically, in terms of economics in our country, we have scarce resource of electricity, water, and other things. So that's why the government or the people are saying that we need uh, to use electricity and water in a very limited and very efficient way, so that these scarce resources must not be vanished in very soon. Any other thing? So now moving for now proceeding forward to the next. Now the economic theory. Now economics focuses heavily on the four factors of production, which are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur and enterprise. So these are the four, four pillars on which the economy is is built. Now, economics is split into the following two broad categories of study. First is microeconomics, and the second is macroeconomics. So, just by the word, you know that micro is just the small uh, a small form of economic, whereas the macro is some bigger picture of the economic. So in microeconomics, it is the branch of economic that studies how household and business reach decisions about purchasing, saving, setting prices, completion in business, etc. It focuses at the individual level. So microeconomics deals with the individual level. Like if I am taking an example of a particular student or a particular teacher, so his study comes under the microeconomics. But in terms of macroeconomics, it is the branch of economics that studies the overall working of national economy. It is more focused on the big picture and analyzing things such as growth, inflation, interest rates, unemployment, and taxes. So, when the bigger picture comes in terms of national level or in terms of international level, the macroeconomics deals with it. Now proceeding to the next slide. Now we are going to discuss the micro and macroeconomics in detail. Now, what is microeconomics? The word micro means, the word micro means millionth part. In microeconomics, we analyze a small part of components of the whole economy. That is, individual consumer behavior or firm, price of particular product or factors of production. Here you can see the individual word, the particular product, or employment in firm or industry of a particular firm or industry. It comes under the microeconomics. In simple, microeconomics studies the behavior of individual decision making units such as consumer, resource owners, and business firms. The basic assumption in microeconomic analysis is full employment in the economy as whole. So basically it deals with the full, if we consider a individual level, then it determines the individual level in the whole picture, but basically it is not true, because in microeconomics we are dealing with the individual level. Now proceeding further. Now, importance of microeconomics. Now, these are some important points of microeconomics. It tells us how it tells us how millions of consumers and producers take decisions about allocation of productive resources among millions of goods and services. It explains how through market mechanism goods and services produced in the community are distributed. So it is based on the individual level. If the individual, suppose, for a product, if the people review for that product is good, then that product marketing, marketing wise as well as the consumption wise, that product is growing. So it also explains the determination of the relative prices of the various products and productive services. It explains the conditions of efficiency both in consumption and production, and departure from the optimum. The whatever the consumption of the product is there, then based on that consumption, the production of that product has been more. Uh, the next is microeconomics helps in formulation of economic policies calculated to promote efficiency in production and the welfare of the masses. So whatever the items or product the people needs or likes, the production of that item or product will be more, in order to compensate the demand and supply analysis. So in demand and supply analysis, microeconomics plays a vital role in it. Now moving further, but there are some limitations of, sorry, there are some limitations of microeconomics as well. It cannot give an idea of functioning of economy as a whole, because it deals in the individual level. An individual industry may be flourishing, but economy as a whole may be languishing. The second point of limitation is it assumes full employment, which is a rare phenomena in the capitalist world. Therefore, an unrealistic assumption. If a person is employed, so based on his employment, we cannot judge that all the people in a country is employed. So basically, it gives the individual approach, but not a country as a whole. So therefore, an unrealistic assumption is being done by the microeconomics, because it basically deals with the individual. So this is all about the microeconomics. Now proceeding further to macroeconomics. All of you are getting it? write yes on the chat box. All of you understand the microeconomics? Okay, so proceeding further, now we are going to study the macroeconomics. So, macroeconomics is concerned with aggregates and averages of the entire economy. For example, national income, aggregate output, total employment, total consumption, savings and investment, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, general levels of price in all comes under macroeconomics. It concerned with aggregates and averages of the entire economy. Now, emphasis on the word entire economy with aggregates. In macroeconomics, we study how these aggregates and averages of the economy as a whole are determined and what causes fluctuations in them. So, in dealing with macroeconomics, we are pointing out the whole, not at the individual level, but at the country level, or if in the bigger picture, like in the world level. Now, macroeconomic also analyzes the chief determinants of economic development and the various stages and processes of economic development. Now, moving further, now the importance of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics, it is helpful in understanding and functioning of the complicated economic system, as it gives bird's eye view of the economic world. So we are the bigger picture has been considered in case of macroeconomic. It is useful in framing economic policy for the nation. So we are considering the nation as a whole in macroeconomics. So macro analysis also occupy an important place in economic theory in its pursuit of the solution of urgent economic problems. So these problems relate to aggregate output, employment, and national income. Aggregate means in total. Now, if we do the summation, then we can say it the aggregate. So this is the importance of macroeconomics, but there are some limitations as well in case of macroeconomics. So these are the limitations. uh, in case of macroeconomic, individual is ignored because it is individual welfare which is the main aim of economy. And the second limitation is the macro analysis overlooks individual differences. For example, general price level may be stable, but the prices of food grains may have gone, spelling ruin to the poor. Like in terms for an example, if you read that government is saying that we are growing in terms of education, in terms of food in this COVID-19 pandemic, but this is the point of view of the government. Uh, but in reality, the reality is different. So, government as a whole is basically deals with the macroeconomic. So these are some of the limitation because government is ignoring the individuals, and it gives the bigger picture of the in government is taking the whole country as, but on the individual level, the poor are much more sufferer in this COVID-19 pandemic. So these are the limitations of macroeconomic. Now, integration of micro and macroeconomic. So this is the very important point in micro and macroeconomics. So which one is better, or can we eliminate the other in respect to the other? Uh, we can see it. Neither of the two approaches, micro and macro, can alone adequately help us in analyzing the working of economic system. So it is therefore essential to integrate these two approaches. So we cannot eliminate one in respect to other. We need to integrate the two approaches. Ignoring one and exclusively concentrating attention on the other may often lead not only inadequate or not only inadequate or wrong explanation, but also to inappropriate or even disastrous remedial measures. So we cannot eliminate the one with respect to other. We need to integrate these two approaches. In some situations, at the individual level, we need to deal with the microeconomics, but in the situations or in the circumstances where we need to take the total or the aggregate, or in terms of national level issues, we need to consider at the macroeconomic issues. So proceeding further, so these are some of the comparisons of micro and macroeconomic. All of you see the screen clearly. All of you see the screen clearly. Okay, now you will see it. Um like these are some basis for comparison. Now this is the last topic we discussed today, because there are only 5 minutes are left. So these are some basis for comparison uh, for micro and macroeconomics. So first is definition: the branch of economics that studies the behavior of individual, consumer, firm, family is known as microeconomic, whereas the branch of economic that studies the behavior of the whole economy, both national and international, is known as macroeconomy. Now, the second point is deals with. Now, deals with, in case of microeconomics, it deals with the individual economic variables. But in case of macroeconomics, it deals with the aggregate economic variables. Mm, yeah, the third comparison is business application. The microeconomic applied to operational and or internal issues, whereas macroeconomic applied to environment and external issues. Because we are taking the nation as a whole, so some external issues are also taken in macroeconomics. The fourth point of comparison is scope. So microeconomics covers various issues like demand, supply, product pricing, factor pricing, production, consumption, economic welfare, etc. In terms of individual level, whereas the macroeconomic covers various issues like national income, general price level distribution, employment, money, etc. So you can see these issues are big picture, or are big issues in respect to a nation. So it comes under macroeconomic. The next point of difference is importance. So microeconomic is helpful in determining the prices of a product along with the prices of factors of production like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur within the economy. Whereas in macroeconomic, it maintains stability in the general price level and resolves the major problems of the economy like inflation, deflation, recession, unemployment, and poverty as a whole. So these are the major issues in with respect to a nation. So macroeconomic deals with it. The last point is difference is limitation. In microeconomic, it is based on unrealistic assumptions. That is, in microeconomic, it is assumed that there is a full employment in the society, which is not at all possible. So it is based on unrealistic assumption. By taking an example of an individual, we cannot assume that all the people are satisfying that example. Uh, so it is an unrealistic assumption. But in case of macroeconomic, it has been analyzed that fallacy of composition involves, which sometimes does not prove true because it is possible that what is true for aggregate, mm, what is true for aggregate may not be true for individual too. So in both cases, there are some limitations. In case of microeconomic, it is an unrealistic assumption because here we are taking the example of an individual only. But in case of macroeconomy, we are judging the uh, individual persons by taking the aggregate of that issue. So these are the differences.